Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Sean, the physical therapy application coach, where pre-PT equals DPT. I am really excited today to be able to provide you all another interview / success story with one of my favorite applicants. They're all my favorite, but I love Miss Anayka. She has a fantastic story, and I'm so excited for her to be able to share that with you guys. So Anayka, thank you so much for coming on, and tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and kind of your pre-PT journey.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sean, for having me here. And above all, thank you so much for helping me. All the details, the advice that you gave me. I mean, I couldn't have done this by myself. And I'm very thankful and grateful to have you as my coach. So I'm Anayka Cantu. I'm from South Texas, a very small town a few miles away from the Mexican border. I'm actually first generation Mexican American. So I'm the first one in my family that attended college and graduated, and now about to start my DPT journey. I come from a very high rated Hispanic community with low income. So I just want to let y'all know that you can do it. If you're in my position, if you think that you might are alone in this journey, no, there is help out there with your professors, with mentors and coaches like Sean. They can truly help you and be guided. Throughout my academics, I felt a little bit alone just because from where I'm from, I was told differently. Yeah, go to college, but well, what are you going to do with your life? Can you afford it? Can you actually make a difference? Is it worth it? So for me, kind of getting out of that norm really meant a lot more than just pursuing this degree. No, it's a little bit more to me. It's more personal, and as well for my family. This success is just not mine. It's my entire family. So I'm really happy to be here and share my story with y'all. And thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Anayka. That was perfect. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
There was just a thought that I had with something that you'd mentioned, how throughout the process, even though yeah, go to college, it'll continue to help you, things like that. How did you overcome those doubts that came into mind that you'd mentioned, or any of those questions where you're like, I don't know, can I actually do this? Am I supposed to be here? All this stuff.
So technically for me, it was all about having your intuition, having those instincts right on the ball. If you feel like you are in this journey, or whichever journey you guys are in, if you truly want it, you can do it. You can definitely do it, but you have to ask people. You have to ask for help, and don't let our confusion or don't let our kind of blindness kind of get the best of us, or our ego. And I think that whenever I was stuck in those situations, the best thing that helped me is to reach out with the right people and give me advice that can actually help me overcome, whether it was as easy as, well, what do you prefer? Should I take this course or that course, or this internship or that internship? And I feel like every time people, mentors, professors, coaches will put their input, it kind of helped me get to this path and this journey. I couldn't have done it without them. And having a great support system, even if your family or your friends have no idea what you're doing, the fact that they have faith in you makes you realize, hey, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. Even though I have no idea how to do it, I can do it.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Because I think sometimes we all look at people who are getting accepted into PT school, which I don't even think. Tell us a little bit about, you got accepted to PT school this last week.
Yes.
Tell everybody where you're going.
So I'm attending next May. I'm attending to the University of Health and Science Center in San Antonio, and I will be part of the 2024 DPT class. So
Woo-hoo.
actually, it was my first application, my first interview, my dream school, and I got accepted. So
Perfect.
I'm kind of speechless.
No, it's amazing. I think going back to what you said, because you had that support system and that laid the groundwork for you, when things get hard, because they do, right? There's no perfect pre-PT journey. And even if someone has like a 4.0 and GRE, whatever, all that stuff, there's bumps along the road, right? And there's an opportunity for everyone. But I love that you talk about the support system and just building a network of positive people behind you, because it takes a village to kind of get to this point.
Yes.
And that's why I'm excited for people like you who you were willing to reach out. You weren't afraid to admit like, hey, I have questions, or can you help me with this? And that's just a great life skill. So props to you. And look, it paid off. First application, dream school, first interview, bada bing, bada boom, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So when you came to work with me, first I wanted you to share a little bit about how did you find physical therapy application coach?
So for me, I wanted to take my application as serious as possible, as y'all should. So I tried my very best to get resources from anywhere, from whether it was social media, whether it was YouTube, or reaching out to people that have already mentored me, like professors and PTs. But the thing is that the pandemic happened, right? And I couldn't just, it's so easy back then, just tell your mentor, hey, can you help me with this sentence? Or can you kind of guide me? It's different. People were facing different situations. And even prior to the pandemic, because I've been trying to apply since last year, I really wanted to get a grip of how to get the PT cast like flowing. I didn't want to miss any details, anything. So as I was YouTubing, I came across your videos and I came across how you had so much insight. It wasn't just a very brief, broad introduction to the PT cast and the application. No, you had so much insight that kind of drove me a little bit closer to what you had to say. And after that, I came across your actual website. I read everything, the reviews, and I was just like, okay, like I have to have him part of my journey because I don't want to miss out. Whether it was feedback, advice, I didn't want to miss out because this is what I wanted to do. So if I can get help from anywhere, I'm going to do it. You know, this is what matters to me. So that's how I came across your page. And even the YouTube videos that you had, even before I even reached out to you personally, you were already helping me. Everything, break down how to apply and your transcripts and your essays, everything. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm so glad to hear that, because sometimes I made these videos and then I kind of like, well, I hope somebody does something with this. So that means a lot that, there's some people who maybe they can't afford the coaching services and things like that. I still want to be able to help whoever I can. And I'm glad that net was able to kind of funnel you so we could meet and interact and have that opportunity to get to know each other. So it's fantastic.
No, and if I may add, even before I contacted you, the fact that I couldn't find any other resources but yours, like it really stood out how much you were willing to put out there to help applicants just apply, you know what I mean? And that helped me a lot because the first time you're applying, you're like, okay, well, how do I do this? And what website or what do I do? And the fact that you had all the answers for me was like, okay, this person truly has knowledge of what he's saying and he's truly wanting to help. So thank you. Not only did it help me, it helped a few of my classmates too. So just to let you
Awesome.
know. Mm-hmm.
No, that's great. That's great. Thank you for the shout out. I appreciate that. So getting into more of the nitty gritties of what we worked on with you. So you were a part of my essay coaching and also interview coaching. How do you feel like that made a difference for you in your application?
So I think like everybody has their own story, right? But the fact that you helped me deliver it differently is what helped me stood out. Does that make sense? I am not the only first gen that will be applying to undergrad or graduate or a doctoral degree. But the fact that you kind of helped me structure my story in a way where it interviewed and delivered my strengths and my weaknesses and my experiences. And like you always say, show me, don't tell me. Like that really stuck with me throughout the essay, throughout the interview. And I think that's what really wanted them to get to know me. During my interview, they even said, I wish I had a few more minutes to get to know you more, because they were so intrigued with the stories that you and I worked on in delivering. So I think that's what mainly helped me stood out with your advice and your tips. So thank you.
No, that's a perfect answer. Thank you. I think there's no secret sauce is what I tell people. The secret sauce is you and your experiences. Because, a lot of applicants are very similar. They have similar majors, they have similar interests. They're into like health and fitness and different things like that, right? But what makes you different is what's happened in your life and the people you've interacted with and the experiences that you have.
Yes.
And people were not taught in school how to talk about that, and how to really sell those experiences. So it shows that you are someone who's prepared to step into this changing and exciting and, also difficult field, right? There's a lot of different aspects that go into it. It's growing, it's expanding, but there's also challenges. And how do we address those? And do we have the right people coming into the profession to meet that? And I think we do. And we have people like you and other applicants. I'm just so excited to see where we can go overall. But it goes back to, what is your story? What's unique about you? And I think you hit the nail on the head. So thank you so much. That's perfect.
Yeah. And along with that, I just feel like with your coaching, I started learning more about myself. Like, what is the real reason? What is the deep meaning to you for physical therapy? Like, how are you going to get involved in the community? And I feel like you really push me towards that. Like, and that, again, that's what helped me stand out. So you really get to know yourself during this coaching sessions.
Yes. There's some, you might love yourself even more afterwards, right? Yeah. Well, Anayka, do you have any parting words of wisdom that you would like to give to any pre-PTs that, whether they're in the same boat as you or somewhere completely different, any advice that you would give to people?
I would say, don't ever give up. I mean, it is difficult. It is a long journey, but if you're willing to ask for help, if you're willing to really put aside maybe, your shyness or your ego or whatever, and really take constructive criticism and apply it, you would definitely stand out. And if you ask the right peers, you will stand out and hopefully get accepted. And just don't give up. Don't ever give up if this is really what you're passionate about.
That is great. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much, Anayka. Maybe we'll do a catch-up video, see how like your first semester is going or something in the future. So
totally open for that, Sean. Thank you so much. Truly, this means so much to me, because during my journey, I can honestly say that you were my number one person throughout the entire process, that understood what I was going through, that was giving me the right advice that I needed at the moment, even if it was calm down, you got this, don't be nervous, because we even got to that point, like that I was just so freaking out and all you had to tell me was calm down, and I was just like, okay, you're right. So thank you so much for having not just this mentorship, but this friendship. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're so welcome. And thank you for that. That means a lot, because you get to meet so many amazing people in this. Like, I almost feel guilty sometimes where I'm like, wow, these applicants are so much better than I was. You know what I mean? Like, just these incredible people that they've had these amazing or extremely difficult life experiences that they've gone through, and they found a way to gut it out. So I consider myself privileged to consider you a friend and to call you a friend, Anayka. So thank you, and God bless you in your journey, right?
So much. If you ever need anything again, I'm here, all right? Thank you.
Perfect.